Welcome to the 2000s. The PS1 and the GameCube are getting left behind for the insanity that the new generation will bring. Mind you, these two games are only 1 year apart. Games and media in general evolved massively in just a decade, with both clean futuristic and dystopian futurism aesthetics being very prevalent. But how did we got here? Did the fiction future always look so blue? I know, this video is not about me shitting on the present generation. Sadly, new games are too expensive to make, therefore high prices, plus inflation. Anyway, look at this picture. April 3, 1988, Los Angeles Times Magazine published an article dedicated to what a future Los Angeles would look like in 2013, depicted by the designer Seth Smith, who would later work in set designing process of movies like Blade Runner or Tron. And most depictions of the future come from fiction or fantasy, which is why I find his vision the most interesting, because his art envisions the future in the most realistic possible way. And I quote, Seth Smith imagines a city characterized by clean lines and high buildings, a crowded, busy place with sleek transportation, tubes, and a few architectural remains of the 20th century. If the images aren't believable, audiences won't relate to them, he says. Words cannot describe how impressive his art is to this day. Most of his art depicts a overpopulated world, which is why the need for massive buildings and earthy walls surrounded by mountains, a lot of grass, lakes around cities, and it truly is breathtaking. No wonder that aesthetic became so popular, and I live there too. But he has envisioned economic crisis, crime, and pollution. But I bet he didn't expect all the negative depictions to be the most accurate art. And media like this will evolve into many different representations of the future, and eventually the white and chrome abstractity became part of the Y2K futurism aesthetic in the 90s, and the fruitier era beloved in the 2000s, that pointed more to the nature and glossiness simplicity counterpart. But history lesson ain't over, kids. It's time for the second part of the video. Around the 70s, electronic music and video games were technically invented, or at least actually became a thing. They're not actually related by the moment yet, but I thought it was a pretty interesting coincidence. Electronic music is thought to be mostly created in Germany, where the first techno will be created, a very recent genre of music transforming into many subgenres like house, trance, synth pop, and oh no, not you dubstep, sorry, no one likes you. Electronic or electronica, which was mainly composed of synthesizers, and digital audio obviously became related to modern and future concepts. As for the first video games, couldn't really do much about sounds or music. It wasn't really possible, but the few sounds that they could use were usually beeps and very rudimentary machine sounds. And while limited, people enjoyed them and eventually became iconic, being commonly associated with the 8 and 16-bit era. Years will pass and technology advanced at accelerated speed, turning into beautiful combination of music, games, and visuals. Final Fantasy VII. Mario 64. And of course, the most memorable of that time, Buck Bumble.
What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity Buck Bumble. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity Buck Bumble. Bump to the bump to the.
But for real now, this isn't about them. This is about the ones I think really shine and people looked away. Games with amazing soundtracks and impressive futuristic aesthetics. Oh, Daddy Kenichi Tokoi, the real boss of Sega delivering time and time again timeless soundtracks for Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Riders, and many more. But today, I want to talk specifically about Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, a sequel that isn't really even mentioned when people bring up the Sonic conversation, but I believe this is a prime example of what I'm trying to say. Music and scene truly connected. Riders from beginning to end is full of futuristic stages that are matched by its soundtrack, and most interesting, the core gameplay. When you slow time to give yourself a boost, it actually affects the whole song of the stage, and it's oh my god.
Ready? Go! Yeah! Ready? Go!
Chef kiss. Never get tired of that feeling. And whether it's a factory, a city, or even ruins, or anything, you get that clean aesthetic everywhere. Big scale buildings, big scale cars, robots, big scale anything. Like, look at this stage. Is it a city? A water park? How does it work? Who cares? I want to be there. I want to have fun on that slide. And a lot of these songs, there's something to these songs that I found a pattern. Like, yeah, there is so much electronic and machine sounds in all of these songs, but something that I really enjoy is that almost all of them have one thing in common, and that thing is the use of violins. Violins whenever either the music is trying to rest for a period, like it's trying to go quiet, or when it's trying to lift the climax of the stage in this case. And it's so impressive. The violin just goes so well with the other digital instruments and upbeat sounds, resulting in something soothing, funky, and even cinematic at the same time. My other example is Final Fantasy XIII, more specific, this song. It's called the Sunlit Waterscape, which is the sound of stage in a forest, protagonized by Vanille and Sash. Final Fantasy is known for its magical orchestras and creativity around instruments, but this song is different. Masashi Hamauzu smashed it with the piano in most of the soundtrack. Really, the song evolves around the piano. It's led by the violin, and the virtual strings add the futuristic fantasy space effect at it. But once the vocals begin, I have found a new favorite soundtrack, so upbeat, so soothing and catchy, I could listen to it for hours. And overall, the whole of Final Fantasy XIII, love it or hate it, you gotta admit, the stages and landscapes from beginning to end are impressive. The world of Cocoon being more green and dark, even dystopian, while the underworld more natural, surrounded by sea, beaches and grass, but still full of skyscrapers, massive spaceships and monsters full in cyborg kind of bodies. The blue is very prevalent around the stages, but not tiring, except for that second stage full of ice. It got kind of boring. But then we got factories and we got all these orange aesthetics that fit really well for the overall world. I love it. I never get tired of that futuristic aesthetic. Cause it's sci-fi, but it's not necessarily dystopian. That's just how the world is. Whether something bad or good is happening at this stage of the world. It still looks pretty, and it still functions as a city, and it shows. And I really do appreciate that kind of detail. I mean, yes, it did mean not getting an open world, cause most of the game are just hallways. But still, they are pretty hallways, I could admit. But what's the point of the video? I don't know. I guess just trying to find out the origin for stuff that I loved as a kid. Maybe that way I will appreciate it more as a grown up. Did it work? Yeah, it did. I have a new perspective of it now. It was so much fun to look back on stuff like this. And I mean, I learned a lot. I hope you learn a lot too. I guess sometimes all you need is to investigate a little background, to really appreciate where it all comes from. I mean, we're living a great time, aren't we? Yeah, don't answer that. Well, maybe it was a way to distract me from crippling depression. Anyway, bye.